in the eyes, opens his mouth, put him back in the cage. And so he stands there, guys, he's motivating him. He said, "Who's next?" So I got a power forward. You know how power forwards are. They're like linemen. They don't remember a lot, okay? He said, I'll go next, but Mr. Baker, please don't poke me in the eyes. So that was a good one. It's an honor to talk to you. And I want to share some things to you, parents. If you'll just chill for a minute, I want to talk to the student athletes. I want to talk to you like I would talk to my team in the locker room. Because there's some things that we really believe in at Charleston Southern, and there's the things that coaches across the country, the good coaches across the country. And by the way, I really believe that the best coaches in the country are high school coaches. I believe that with all my heart. We can recruit a position. You can't. You have to deal year in and year out with what comes to your school. And the best coaches in the country are those that can mold a team that maybe they didn't recruit, that was given to them, and come up a champion. I believe that. Amen on that. They're the best coaches in the country. So I applaud you coaches out there, but I'm going to talk to you student athletes. And I want to talk to you about your future and what lays before you. And I want to give you some practical things that I want you to go home tonight, and I want you to write these down. Because they'll be life-changing. There'll be some things that maybe you can apply to your life that maybe can send your life in a direction that maybe you hadn't anticipated. Much like Justin he wasn't being recruited by anybody. To being recruited by everybody in the Southeast. It can happen for you. You can maximize your potential. The first thing I want you to know is that you were created with gifts and talents. Each one of you in here has amazing gifts and talents. Some of you, your gifts and talents are in wrestling. Some of you, your gifts and talents are in basketball. Some of you in here that are being honored as a basketball player or a wrestler, your major gifts might not even be in basketball or wrestling. It may be in playing the trumpet or math or English or some type of science or another sport. There's probably some high major football players in here. But you were created with gifts and talents. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You are gifted and you are talented. Now, a little side note. That's the way you were wired. That's how you were created with those talents. You didn't invent those talents. Austin, there's no way Austin can make himself 6'6". There's no way he can do that. That was a blessing. He can't sit there and say, "I'm going to be 6'6". It just happened that he's 6'6". He's wired that way. And Clemson will be the beneficiary of his talents and his skills. But he didn't create himself that way. He was gifted with that. And on another side note, don't listen to me, student athletes. Listen to me well here. There's people in society that are going to tell you that you're not gifted and talented and are going to try to bring you down. Don't listen to that. Because you can look and you can know that you are perfectly made. There isn't one thing different about you that's not supposed to be that way. You are just the way that you're supposed to be. Whether you're 6'5" or 5'6", that's the way that you're supposed to be. And if we let people in life tell us anything different than that, then you're making a mistake and that's your fault. Because you can make your mouth say anything. Okay? But you have to believe in your heart and believe in your mind that you were created beautifully, handsomely, intelligent, athletic, just the way that you are. Point number 2, because you have that gifting, those giftings, that will often be accompanied with a passion. A passion will accompany that gifting. Let me give you an example. I love to coach. I love to coach. There's nothing in life professionally that I like about the coaching profession than being out on the court. I love that with a passion. I enjoy the recruiting. I love the relationships. I enjoy the games. But the actual coaching, I passionately love that. You know how I love that? Because at the end of practice, when Coach Mackey and Coach Smith and Coach Daubles and I, we've just coached and we're sweating and we've given our very best effort, it feels good. You can know your gifting because when you're done doing that gifting, you feel content and you feel satisfied. If you asked me to be a mathematician or an accountant and to sit behind a desk and to do that, and we need great mathematicians, great accountants, great teachers, I can't do that. It's not the way I'm wired. I have adult ADD, I can't sit behind a desk. BJ will often in our offices, he'll say, "Where are you going?" Okay, he's been with me a year now. He knows I'm just going to go walk around for about 10 minutes and come back down and sit down. But I can't sit behind a desk. It's not the way I'm wired. But at the end of practice, man, I feel good. So your passion, your gifting will meet your passion. And when you perform that gifting, you're going to feel satisfied inside. Those are the two good things. Now you're ready for the challenge. What are you going to do with those giftings and talents? Because as you've been gifted and talented, okay, as you've been blessed with being 6'6", and you've been blessed with a silky smooth jump shot, you've been blessed with Larry Davis with a natural ability to score, and BJ a natural ability to defend. That's a real joke there. That was a joke. Okay? When you're gifted, you now have a responsibility. You have a responsibility with those gifts and those talents. You have a responsibility with that. And let me tell you what your responsibility is. And you can tell people I said it. You are responsible to maximize those talents. You've been gifted with size. You've been gifted with athletic ability. You've been gifted with intelligence. That's coupled with a passion, something you feel great about doing and feel satisfied and fulfilled when you do it. And now you have a responsibility with those gifts and those passions to develop them till their fullest. And that's where your generation is making a mistake, young people. You're making that mistake because you're not developing your talents to the fullest. There's some obstacles that you guys have that we didn't have, that the guys that are older than you didn't have. There's some things standing in your way that are keeping you from going from mediocrity to greatness. You have the potential to be as great as you can possibly be. Does that mean you're going to play in the NBA? Let me give you an example. Right there's B. I talk about BJ. I love BJ. Hey, he's the all-time leading scorer in University of South Carolina history. All of us in here know that. You know how many minutes he played in the NBA? BJ maximized his ability to the fullest, and it led him to here. There's people that haven't worked on their game near as much as BJ worked on his game, because I chased down all his rebounds, and who are playing in the NBA because they're 6'7" and can jump up and put their head over the backboard. They've been blessed with those abilities. You've been blessed, and you have a responsibility to be as great as you can possibly be. That might mean your basketball career is over because you've maximized it. That might mean you can go play small college, Division II, Division III. But you have a responsibility to max that out. And let me tell you some things that are hindering you. Things that can hinder you is poor time management. Manage your time. When you get to college up here, guys that are playing in college next year, manage your time. There's nothing wrong with video games and the internet, but if it is dominating your life, then you are sucking away precious time that you could be developing your skills. Why would you play Halo 3 when you can work on your three-point jump shot? It doesn't make any sense to me. There is no Halo 3 scholarships. Manage your time. Get out a sheet of paper and write down the 24 hours that you have in a day and manage your time. Play video games for 30 minutes. But don't trick yourself into thinking that you can be the best that you can be. Jump shots don't come through osmosis. Jump shots come through repetition. Manage your time. Wrestlers, whatever you do to prepare, I don't know what it is other than sweat. Prepare. Do the best you can. In a headlock, I'll demonstrate it on David here. No, do the best that you can do. Manage your time. Video games and the internet and tweeting and all that stuff suck away from your career. And for some of you, select few up here, it's taking dollars out of your pocket. Some of you who are sophomores and juniors, it's taking scholarships off the table. Manage your time. Number 2, make great character choices. I can't tell you the amount of time we sit in our office debating whether we're going to offer this player or this player. They're also doing that at Furman. They're also doing that at UNC Wilmington. But they're also doing that at Clemson and Carolina and North Carolina and Duke. They are selecting who they're going to offer. And the quickest way, young people, off that list is poor character. It's the quickest way off that list. And now you don't have an opportunity to maximize your talents because you made bad character choices. Say no. Say no on Friday night. Stay in on Saturday night. Work on your game on Friday night.